Hello, my name is Brian Galebach, and I will be a guest commentator in this video for Dweebovision. I am a North American Scrabble expert, and in this video, I am going to play Scrabble while providing in-game commentary on my moves. Hopefully, this will help to improve your game and be fun to watch. I will be playing this game with the North American Tournament word list and the double challenge rule, in which a lost challenge results in a loss of turn. The game is just about to start, so let's join the action. All right, it's my opponent to go first. I almost have janitors if my opponent plays a word with an I in, which I hope that he does. So, what else would I have if there's no I played? This does not look like a 7-letter bingo rack, but perhaps with some other letters it could also make other bingos other than janitors. All right, let me consider different 8th letters to add to this rack. Just cycling through in my mind. I'm up to L. All right, unfortunately, no I provided by my opponent, but let's look at these L, E, and X. Okay, E, I don't think so. L, doesn't look like it. X, no. So what can I do here? All right, well, other than the J, I only have 1-point tiles, and I don't have an I, so I can't hook Lex to make Ilex. So what can I do with this? Now, I could play something through the L, putting the J here. But what can I do? Maybe Jolt. Well, that's about all I can see right now. I guess let's go with this. ANRS is not a bad leave. So let's see what happens. Okay. This might be a bingo rack, but I have duplicated A and duplicated E. Looking for a 7. I don't believe there's a 7 here. Now, if I add another letter, right now the only floaters that could possibly be used are, well, the O, T, E, and X, but I'd have some overlaps with 3 of those floaters. All right, now that restricts floaters even more. Now, if we start with an M, can I do anything? I don't think so. I doesn't look promising. How about a T? All right, I'm not seeing any bingos. Hopefully I'm not missing one here. All right, so what can I do now? I still don't have an I to make Ilex. I could hook Jolt with the S, but that seems like a waste of an S. I would like to break up these duplicates if possible. So maybe an A and an E, and then playing off. If I could just play A and E, that would leave me with an excellent rack. How could I do that? I could play MAE. I could do AE here for 6 points, or May for 7 points. It's not opening up the board a lot, though. And I have such a good rack, I don't want the board to be super closed. All right, maybe, well, AE requires specific front hooks. I have an S to go on the back of MAE, so this might be a little bit better. Now, an A would go here and jam, but not sure I have a good play there. Okay, let's go with MAE and hope for a bingo rack next. Okay, this looks like, well, it's Fenestra through the E, if that's not blocked. This does not look like a 7-letter bingo. All right, I'm hoping the E is not blocked so I could play Fenestra. What else could I do? All right, now I have a 1-point lead. It's a very tight game score-wise and a tight board. And this could change in an instant should we get the bingos starting to flow in this game. This is a typical beginning of a game where it's real tight. You're kind of jostling for who can get the first bingo. Now, that blocks Fenestra, unfortunately. Can I do anything through the C? I don't think so. All right, so what can I do with... I'd like to get rid of the F if I could. If there was an R to play through, I'd have transfer, but I don't have that. Well, how about if I do something like craft? SEN is a good leave. SENT is even better, but I don't see how I can play off just RAF. 20 points is not a bad score. Just looking at that C, what else I could do? I could do something with the S, but I don't want to waste the S yet, so... Flex. F. Flex. Well, that's maybe a hook worth using right now. I could play... something like fart for 30 points, also leaving SEN. So that's more points than craft. This looks like a better play. I still have the S to hook on here and here. Let's see what happens next. All right, unfortunately I draw the Q. I'm going to have to try to get rid of that, but I do have a place for that right now, QAT. Now I also have the I, which goes well with the Q. But I don't see where I could play QI. Now, this is a juicy spot here with this Z. I don't have an easy way to score with that. If there were an A to play through, I would have Kindars as a 7. All right, I'm thinking of just playing off just a Q, keeping diners, which is a good leave, and hopefully I'll be able to bingo right away. Okay, I have winders and rewinds. Do either of those play? Maybe not. Do they have any other anagrams? Not that I can think of. And my opponent gets a lot of points with Dozy. All right. Now, here's a floater and a T. Does that help me out? Not that I can tell. There's also another T and a D here. That would leave me with 2 Ds. All right, and let's just look again, make sure winders and rewinds does not play anywhere. This E could be a floater because an N or S fits here. Wideners and re-widens with an E, but neither of those plays. All right. So if I want to use up, I would like to use just the W and maybe not much else. But can I do it and get any points? Not a lot. Still a really tight board. I do have the S, which only now really helps me at the back of this word. All right. Well, I could just do woe and woe for only 10 points. Not a good score. Well, Looking here with the I, what can I do here? Not much unless I use the S. All right. I hate just playing one tile. I feel like I'm not giving myself a great chance to get a bingo. And it's not a good score. I'm not sure what else to do, and I can't take too much time at this point in the game. All right. Insider, and that would play here in row L if it's not blocked. All right, so finally I might get something here. Also, okay, that's blocked, but I still can play insider here in this row or down in this column. All right, does it play anything anywhere else? Thinking through a T, what does that make? Inditers. Okay. I can't think of an anagram that starts with a T. All right, so I'm still thinking about insider. All right, I believe that's going to have to be it, and it's going to be either here or here, and neither one is going to hit. What is more dangerous? Let's see. If I do insider here, if my opponent would happen to have an S, which, let's see, 2 S's and 2 blanks still remaining. This is a little dangerous, but going here into the triple lane is also dangerous. Either way is dangerous. What is less dangerous? This seems less likely to lead to a really big score in a very easy fashion, so I prefer this placement. All right, and I draw a blank, which is good. Now, this is very close to Dahabeya. But would that have 3 A's, I think? Dahabeya. Can that be spelled with an E like that? But I would need a B or an H to even consider playing that, so I'm not going to really rack my head on that word. Not really playable. Now, this is close to airhead. Does that play anywhere? I don't think it does. This is still a very tight board. No. Okay, so airhead does not look like it's going to play. All right. So let's cycle through here really quickly, see if we can come up with something else. Almost acid head. I think that does play. Acid head, 76 points. Okay, that might end up being about the highest scoring possible location, so I might just go with this pretty quickly. That looks pretty good to me. Acid head. Okay. All right, and I draw the second blank. Excellent timing for that. Now, perhaps my opponent will challenge that. That would be nice. We're playing double challenge, so my opponent would lose a turn if he would challenge that. Doesn't look like he's going to, since he didn't do it right away. I'm going to cycle through here again, see if I can come up with something else exciting. This doesn't look quite as flexible as the previous rack, so I may have to now livable. If there would be an L to play through, I don't see how to do that. What else? Let's see. Let's just check those words. Those are all fine. I have about a 28-point lead. Okay. Now, I'm trying to think. ABLE, where could I even do an ABLE word? I don't see where that's even really possible. This is, again, a pretty tight board here. This E, A, and D seem to be the only floaters. All right. I'm going to cycle through here looking mostly at the rack, seeing if anything springs into mind. And then if that doesn't work, then I might take a closer look at those floaters and see if that springs anything into mind. Almost evitable. I think that's good, but it doesn't look like it. That doesn't play. Okay. All right, so let's take another look at these floaters here. A D. Imagine a D on the rack. Does that bring anything into mind? No, I don't think so. And an A and an E would add another vowel to this rack, which doesn't look useful. I'm just going to scramble here really quickly. All right, I'm not seeing anything, so I want to try and see if I can use the B, maybe the B and the V, if possible. All right, so how can I do that? I could just play, if I played Vibe, that leaves me with A, E, E blank, though, so maybe I don't want to use both the B and the V. IVE is a pretty good combination. Oh, So maybe I want to use more vowels, but I do want to use at least... Okay, so if I used a B here... How about... Well, I have duplicated E. I don't like duplicated E. V is only 12 points, so I want to try and score some points. Okay, so let's see if I can figure out a way to score some points and clean up the rack. So maybe let's just focus on points rather than leave. Okay, so I goes here, but I don't see an easy way to use that. Okay, looking for points now. Okay, and I'm using a lot of time, so it's time to think a little more quickly. How about save, leaving IBE blank? That doesn't seem a great leave, but I have to do something soon here. I'm using a lot of time. Okay, how about just AB is 18 points. That's kind of board blocking. I am a little bit in the lead, so this is maybe not too bad. I have duplicated E then. All right, time to make a decision. Let's go with AB for 18 points, focusing on score. Okay. Now, I'm sure that wasn't optimal, but I'm kind of using a little bit too much time. I'm going to have to think a little bit more quickly from now on. Just looking for bingos or anything that maybe could go with another letter to make an 8-letter bingo. Okay, that takes it back E. So if I could come up with something that ended in an E, or well, I'm not thinking of anything there. All those words are good. Now, I could play veg, which would really close down the board. I still do have a lead. This is very defensive, so maybe this is okay. Now, the negative here is I'm not leaving myself with any consonants, but let's just take a look here real quick. 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 out of 37. So this is maybe okay. I have the blank still, so that gives me some flexibility, and I like this defensive-wise. All right, and I pulled 3 consonants, which is fantastic. Now, I've really closed down the board, though, so that makes it difficult for me to get a bingo. So rather than going for a bingo right away, that takes up in front O, but having an O here does not help me to score. So maybe let's just keep this really blocked up. Now, BE, what does that take in back? I think just an E that I have. I could play something like pi. 23 points. That's maybe not a great play. But if my opponent has an O, though, they could be shooting for a bingo here. So I maybe have to do something here. All right, so let's do pi. Well, that doesn't necessarily really block anything. If my opponent has an O, they still could do something here. Now, if my opponent... Okay, my opponent did have an O, but only 27 points for that. I still have a slight lead. Now, I have an O for going in back of this G. What can I do here? O. I'm not seeing a way to capitalize there yet. Okay, now I could do something like woof here. That's not too dangerous. It will only take an S in the third spot, second or third spot. I think this is okay. 25 points. I don't like using the O, though, because that goes in back of this G. But I need to score points. So we're going to go for points. Okay. All right. Hopefully I didn't give my opponent a bingo in this lane. That would be pretty sad. I didn't consider words with flops. I maybe could have done something like maybe mega flops. That would have been nice. All right. I'm going to consider this lops for an extension later if I have time to think. I only have 3 minutes. My opponent has played pretty quickly, forcing me to think more quickly than I like to do. All right. I wonder if I did have mega flops there. Not sure what letters I had on my last rack there. Okay. Looking here, I don't have an O anymore for going in back of this G. My opponent's thinking, well, my opponent may have the S. Okay, just playing off one tile, so my opponent is maybe close to something. Well, I could do something here to obstruct this, although I'm not thinking of what I could do. Just considering an S here real quick, I don't think I have anything. I'm not sure what I can do here to obstruct. So how can I just score some points? And I'm really getting short on time here. I'm up by 42. Well, that's not many points. Maybe obstructs this lane a little bit. Do I even want to do that? Maybe I don't. Maybe I want to clean up my rack. I could do Raj. This is not too dangerous. 10 points. Okay. I'm really short on time. 13 tiles remaining. Less than 2 minutes on my clock. This was maybe not a great play. If my opponent opens up another lane there, he will have 2 different lanes available for possible bingos. All right. I wish I had an O. I used it for wolf. I really wish I had that now for going after this G. All right, my opponent's using a little bit of time here. I'm actually glad for that. Okay, router, that's a very opening play. Wow, what can I do with any of these floaters? Anything. If I could, that would really lock it up. Almost don't have time to cycle through. Let's make just a blocking play here, perhaps. Okay, I'm really struggling here. Got to play something quick. Okay. Maybe I'll use my blank here. All right. That's using more tiles. Only 27 points, though. Okay, I don't have really too much more time to consider. Okay. Red leg. I like that. 24 points. Okay, I'm close to over much. Wow, if I hadn't blocked this, I had over much as a triple. That's assuming my opponent wouldn't block it. Possible bingo lane here through the U for my opponent. That would be tough. Looking at the possible letters for my opponent. All right. I can see exactly what my opponent has. Anti-air. And that does not play anywhere. It does not play through these doubles. So now my focus is to just use my tiles as quickly as possible. I could play... Now, I don't want to open up anything new that could possibly be a bingo. This... Wait, anti-air. That does not hook on the front of airs. Okay, much is fine. And I might go over time, but that's okay as long as I don't give up a bingo. A bingo would lose, so I just have to make sure I don't go over ovum. And that... Whew, and I'm right at 0 seconds, but I managed to hold on for the win. All right, so a final score of 333 for my opponent, 401 for me, a winning margin of 68 points. Well, let's see what I missed. Probably a lot when I'm scrambling for time there. So... Here's what was my opponent's first rack. Some high point tiles, only one vowel. All right, so here I was hoping for an I for janitors. Did not play that. And I played Jolt. I could have also played Raj at G7. Okay, R-A-G getting the J on the double letter. That's another possibility. That's a little bit more, few more points. All right. Here, did I miss a bingo? No, I did not. Duplicated A and duplicated E. Stymies the rack a little bit. I went just for balance as much as possible there, playing off just the A and the E. All right, here I was hoping to play through the E, but that was blocked. Fart is the recommended play by my by the computer. I played that. Here I pulled the Q, which stymied my bingo possibilities. I could have played QIS. All right, for 32 points, that would have used the S, but for 20 additional points, it probably is worth using the S. So that might have been a better play in terms of equity. Sometimes it's tough when you're in the mode of, I need to try to get a bingo rack as quickly as possible to kind of switch out of that mode. And I was in that mode still when I just played the Q, hoping again for a bingo as quickly as possible. And I had winders, but nowhere to play that. Again, no bingo available. But again, I could have used the S at J2. Okay, I was looking at an I here. Weirs is 43 points. That is a lot of points. I just went for just rack balance again. Only 10 points for woe. Probably more points is better there. When in doubt, score points. Rule of thumb, which I'm sure has quite a lot of exceptions. Now here, I finally did get a bingo rack, and I found Insider. I took the score for more points, opening up this triple, but not putting... Now, had I played the other placement, my opponent has Wennies, would have played that for a huge number of points here in column 13. So in retrospect, definitely I made the right choice here. Let's see what choices my opponent had. My opponent did not have a bingo with the placement I did. So the other place would have had a bingo for a huge number of points. So I luckily made the right decision there. Now, did I have a bingo here? Acid Head, yes. And I did find that. That was the only bingo, so I'm very happy to have spotted that one. Now, did I have a bingo here? I don't think I did. I did not. And again here, now the computer is going for points, 26 points at J2. Again, taking advantage of this I spot. That would have probably been a pretty good play. I wasn't really seeing a good way to score points, but I wasn't getting low on time yet, but I spent, wow, look how much time I spent on that turn. Over 4 minutes, and that's in a 20-minute game. That's a lot of time to spend, over 20% of your time on one turn. So that's still an aspect of my game I have to work on a little bit, the time management aspect. Now, do I have a bingo here? No, I do not. But again, I could have played Ver for points. And I'm starting to get a little bit of a panic mode. Veg is not a bad play because it's defensive. I am up in score by about 45 points after that play. So doing that is not terrible. All right. Now, I could have done fair. Again, this is all these spots are right here. Fair is not too bad. That's not a dangerous floater, the F. 26 points. What did I do? I did pi for 23. All right. And that leaves ACF blank. CEP blank is a little bit better. All right. Here I could have done Fogey at 12A. All right, that's a pretty good looking play. What did I do? I did Wolf. So Fogey seems a little bit better. It scores just as many points. Well, both of those use the O. I would have liked to find... Now, here's a play, N6, Cane. Oh, I see, making Taste. That would have been pretty nice in terms of keeping the O. Normally, the O is not the best vowel that you can keep, but in this case, keeping the O would have really helped me in this spot here on the board. So, Keen might have been a very nice play to consider, keeping the O. All right. There, Keen again was available. I did instead Raj, and I'm getting very tight on time here, starting to panic. Now, I wonder if I had a bingo here. I bet you I did. I did. I could have played Becudgel, but that's a pretty hard play to find with only a couple minutes left on your clock. Now, I did happen to find the computer's second play suggestion, Red Leg, which does use 5 tiles, which is good when I'm trying to run out the tiles out of the bag for my opponent to have a chance to catch up. And it also takes out that dangerous triple lane at the top. Let's see, did my opponent have a bingo here? No. And by emptying the bag, I knew exactly what my opponent had, and anti-air I could see did not play. So that took a lot of the pressure off of me. I'm sure I didn't make a optimal play here. Could have done vouch, but that puts a V out there. Now, I'm not sure if a V, it almost looks like invariant, so that might be a terrible play. I was very sure that if I just played something like much, that's extremely safe. That is not going to give my opponent a bingo possibility. So in terms of the score, that's perfectly sufficient to win the game. And here I found ovum, and that was the highest scoring play, amazingly, with time running out. So the moral of this game is I again used a little bit too much time in the early to middle parts of the game and got a little bit of a time crunch. But fortunately, I had enough of a score margin to hold off my opponent. And hopefully the thinking process that I used when I had enough time to say what it even was helpful for you in your game. And I hope that you enjoyed watching. Thank you for watching. My name is Brian Galebuck, and this has been a video for Dweebovision.